Hey guys, my name is Francisco Hernandez, and today I'm going to talk to you about Evoto AI. Evoto AI is a photo editor that uses AI to retouch your photos, and it's aimed at efficiency with great results really quickly so that you can go ahead and retouch your photos and deliver them to your clients so that you can either get more jobs out there or just relax a little bit. Before I get started, I want to show you guys a quick example of before and after example. So here's going to be the before on the screen, and then here is the after. Here is another look at the before and after, but closer. So this is the before, and then this is the after. Evoto AI is targeted towards any sort of professional photographer out there, like portrait photographer, headshot photographer, event, wedding, commercial photographer, anybody out there that does professional photography that requires a little bit of retouching. This video is actually sponsored by Evoto AI, so I want to thank them for sponsoring this video, and also let you guys know that when it comes to my channel, I don't just make videos on anything, so it has to be a product that I really do believe in, and that's actually how I feel with Evoto AI. I was very skeptical before I started to use this program, but after using it, I found it to be really great service to use, and that's why I'm recommending it to you guys, so you guys can check this video out and see exactly if you want to get the software yourself or not. When you first open up Evoto AI, you will see this screen right here where it says create project. That's where you can go ahead and import some of your photos into Evoto AI and start working on them. You also see a sample project that is a bit of a guided tutorial to show you some of the features there. But in this case, I'm going to show you guys some of those different features in Evoto AI. And I'm going to do that by opening up the FJH sample edits project. But you can actually see on the side here that I do have two other projects from two other photo shoots that I've done. One is a rain photo shoot that I have been sitting on for a couple months now that I do want to make very soon, and I'm going to be using Evoto AI to retouch some of the last photos from that photo shoot. And I also have a Lux Master shoot that's going to be a photo shoot reviewing a product, and I did all my retouching from that photo shoot with the photos using Evoto AI. So let me go ahead and just click on FJH sample edits. So now that I have my FJH sample edits project open up, you can see that this is the first image that I imported into this project, but it's not the first one that I want to work on in this video. So I wish there was a way to rearrange the order of the photos in your project, and that's not the case. So I'm just going to click on the second image right here, which is the first one that I want to work on from a photo shoot that I did earlier this year. And on the side here, you can see that there are some included presets in Evoto AI that you can apply different kind of features to your photo. You can try them out if you want to, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to just reduce this section here so I can see more of the image. In Evoto AI, there are different categories for different features, and in this first section, it's going to be called color adjustments, but you do have portrait retouching, which is going to have a shortcut of R, background adjustments, which is going to be a shortcut of B. You do have clothes and accessories touch-up, which does not have a shortcut. You have crop, which is a shortcut of C, and there's also tethered shooting feature in Evoto AI that we'll be showing you guys later in this video. The very first feature that I wanted to show you guys in this video, because I'm not going to go over every single thing in this video. If you guys are interested in seeing a full in-depth video about Evoto AI, then let me know if you want to see that. But for this video, I'm going to go over certain different features that I really think are worth talking about. And the very first one that I want to talk about is called AI color looks. Right over here under the histogram, which I'm going to minimize, you can see it does say AI color looks right there. I'm going to click on that. And after I click on it, you can see that there's different kind of, I don't want to say presets, because presets are just the same exact settings applied to every single thing, every single photo that you apply it to. You can think of this as presets on steroids, this AI color looks, because it's going to apply a certain look to your image, but the AI is going to analyze your photo and figure out how best to apply that look to your photo. For this image, I will stick to using neutral to see how that looks like. It's the first one there. There's different categories. One is called gentle, film, vibe, and then the last one's trending on the bottom right there. And I actually do like what it's showing me so far. It's processing still, but I feel like it did do a good job of reducing a little bit of the oranges that were in the image. Originally, I did like the warmth of the image, but after I applied this neutral setting, it does look a little bit better. I felt like my opinion changed. So I do actually like how it looks like now, but just for the sake of variety and showing you guys different looks, I will click on another feature, another AI color look, and see how that looks like. And I think I'll try olive green film. And it is an interesting look, but it's something that I don't want to apply to this photo. I think what you can kind of guess when it comes to the different color looks is that you can see a bit of a preview of kind of the style of the image that you would want to apply these color looks to. So for example, a lot of these are very natural light kind of looks. So for vivid light, it's gonna be kind of a little bit more of the bright and airy look, but I feel like neutral was pretty good. So I'm gonna leave it at that. And what you can actually do in case you feel like this look is a little too much and you want to reduce it, you can actually either click on the number here and type the percentage of the look that you want applied to the image. And in this case, I will go to 80%, but you can also just move the slider a little bit to kind of just reduce it or increase it. And that's pretty much going to be the case for every feature in Evoto AI. It's all slider based. So you can increase the feature. And then if you feel like it needs to be scaled down a little bit, then you can just reduce it a little bit with the slider. Some of the other things that you can adjust in the color adjustment section, there's going to be a filters section, which is going to be a little bit more like presets. You can see that there's a basic adjustment section where you can adjust the exposure, the tone, all the different things that you're usually working in when it comes to adjusting the exposure and the highlights of your photos. And then you see that there's curves, HSL, color grading, detail, grain, lens correction, and color calibration. And for this specific image, I'm going to open up the color calibration section and increase the blue primary saturation slider to something like 40% because I know that's going to bring a little bit of that warmth back in a realistic way. And yep, it did do a good job at bringing a little bit more of that warmth back because I felt like I was missing it from that first look of how it looked like. And the last thing I'm going to do is probably just increase the tint to maybe 18% because I feel like there's a little bit of green in the skin tones. And then I'll move on to the portrait retouching section. So now that I'm in the portrait retouching section, I do want to zoom in quite a bit onto the photo. I'll start off at 100% and see how that looks like. And I feel like her face is a little too big. You can see the skin detail a lot, but I feel like it's a little too big. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit to maybe 88%. And you can see here on the top where it says blemish removal, that section is going to have the very first, actually not the first, but the second feature that I want to talk about in this video, which is called freckle and acne removal. Whenever I work with any client or model or anybody, I do want to remove things that were temporary. So if there's a temporary pimple or blemish and it's not truly representative of how that person is, then I want to remove that. So in this case, she did have a little bit of blemishes throughout her face, and I'm going to just increase this slider all the way to 100%. And I felt like it did a great job at removing the blemishes, which again are temporary. So I'm going to keep it at 100%, but I'm also going to check this section right here, which says manual tuning, because sometimes when you increase the freckle and acne removal feature all the way to 100%, sometimes it can remove a little bit of birthmarks or moles or things that you don't want to be removed. So I'm going to click on this, and then it's going to show me the version of the image before the blemish and or the acne and freckle removal. And you can see that there are a couple of different things that should have been removed, and all you need to do is just paint those things back in. You have the option of increasing the size of the brush, the softness of the brush, and the opacity. I do usually like it to be at a softness of 100%, and the size is just going to depend on the image. And I'm going to just paint in some of those things back into the photo. And now that I've done that, I'm going to click on OK. And after a couple of seconds, it's going to bring back those things, and you can see that it just did that. You also have all these different features to reduce any sort of blemishes on the body. You have the option to reduce the face shine, which I don't really think is severe in this image. You also have face, forehead wrinkle removal, eye wrinkle removal, dark circle, and the next feature that I wanted to talk about, which is something that's really important when you use off-camera flash, which is glasses glare removal. There are some times when you work with flash where you can have the light look exactly how you want it to, but then the subject has glasses on, and then you can see the off-camera flash setup in the glasses. You can see that in the glare of the glasses, and that's why I really did enjoy this feature, because that was actually the case for this specific photo. I took this photo, I liked how the light looked like, but then I saw that glare in the glasses, so I just moved the light a little bit further away, a little bit higher, and a little bit to the side, and that did get the glare out of the glasses, but I do feel like the lighting was better before I did that. So that's why I really was excited about this feature when I was learning about Evoto AI. So now, just like all the other features, I'm going to bring it all the way up to 100%. And I think it did an excellent job at removing the glasses glare realistically. Sometimes when I've worked with other features that might have attempted this kind of feature, I feel like they didn't do a good job. But for this photo, it did a great job in my opinion. So I'm going to leave it at 100% and keep it there, and then go to the next feature. I'm going to scroll down, and you can see that there's a lot more features for removing different things in Evoto AI. But like I said before, I'm going to save all those different features for a full in-depth video on Evoto AI in case you guys are interested in seeing that. And then I'm going to look for the very next feature that I want to talk about. Now that I think about it, it would be good to have like a search function on the top of the panels so you can type exactly the feature that you're looking for, and then it'll pop up. But in this case, it wasn't really needed because the next thing that was going to be opening up was the skin retouching section, which has the next feature that I wanted to talk about, which is called smooth face skin. And it has in parentheses dodge and burn because it uses dodge and burn, which is a retouching method to smoothen the face skin. I'm going to bring it all the way up to 100%. And I actually do like what it did in terms of reducing or actually smoothing the face skin. So I'm going to leave it at 100% and then move on to the very next feature, which is going to be involving the hair. Actually, before I do that, I do want to smoothen the skin of the body. So I'm gonna just go to the arm here so you can see exactly what it's gonna be smoothing. So I'm gonna go to body skin smoothing and go all the way to 100%. And I think it did a good job. So I'm gonna keep it there at 100%. The very next features are going to involve the hair, like I said before. So I'm going to go to hair over here on the bottom and check what's inside there, because there is the different things that I wanted to talk about. So let me just go over here to the hair. I might zoom out just a tiny bit and you guys can see a little bit more of the hair, because I'm going to be working on that right now with the fill hair part line. You can see that sometimes when the hair parts right here, it can be a little bit too much of a part. You can see too much of the, I was going to say the skin, but that's actually accurate. The skin of the head right there, you can see a little bit too much of the skin and you want to see more hair. So I'm going to bring that all the way up to 100%, and it did a pretty good job. I think it maybe did a little bit too much, so I'll probably bring it to half of what it gave me, to 50%. And I feel like at 50% it did a good job, so I'm going to keep it there at 50%. And then that brings me to the next feature that I wanted to talk about, which is going to be the remove stray hairs feature. And just like the name implies, it's going to remove all of the stray hairs. And you can see with this image, there were a good amount of problem stray hairs right here in the center going up. And you can see that there's some on the sides right there. So I'm going to bring that all the way to 100%. And again, this software is really, really good, because I felt like it did a great job at removing a lot of the stray hairs. And it did an excellent job on the hairs that were right there in the middle of her forehead. And when I did actually originally manually retouch this image, that was a little bit too much time to reduce the stray hairs right here. So this did a great job really, really fast. So it saves you a lot of time. It saved me a lot of time. The next two features that I want to talk about involve the eyes. So I did open up the eyes section, and you can see right here where it says brightness, just like it implies, you can increase the brightness of just the eyes. So you can see actually in real time, when I move the slider, it's going to make the eye brighter or darker depending on where I'm moving it. And I feel like at 100% it's too bright. So I think something like 25% is actually going to be a good realistic level of brightness that's going to make your eyes bright, but not too bright. And you can actually adjust different things in the eye, like the iris, sclera, eye reflection, and the iris flare. Another feature that I wanted to talk about that's not going to be a good example for this image because she doesn't have this issue, but you can see that you can actually remove red veins that are in the eye. So I will show you guys that in another image. So since the other images I had prepared didn't have any sort of red veins in the eyes, I found one of me from when I was taking my own passport photos, and I wanted to show you guys that feature, that removing red veins feature for the eyes. So I'm going to drag the slider from 0 to 100, and then you can see that it did remove already some of the red veins that were in my eyes. So I can show you guys the before and after. You can see that there's some right there, right there, right there, and this one that was right there, very prominent. Again, one last before and then one last after. And before I did this removing red veins feature, I did apply a little bit of the acne removal on my skin and then change the color temperature, which is actually what you're seeing also, in addition to removing the red veins in this before right here. With this specific image, I wanted to then highlight the feature of the armpit touch up. So what I'm going to do is change it to something like 100% and then show you guys the armpit right there. And when I use the feature, the armpit touch up to 100%, you can see that it just does a great job of reducing how that looks like. Sometimes the model or the client doesn't find it flattering, and you can just make it a lot more soft and natural looking with this feature, this armpit retouch feature. Here's the before again, and then here is the after. The very next feature that I want to talk about is the de-wrinkle clothing feature, and that's going to be something that's in that clothes and accessories touch-up feature section. You can see right there on the top it says de-wrinkle clothing, and I'm going to bring it all the way to 100%. And again, I feel like it did an excellent job. If you want to see before and after, here's the before and here's the after. And I was only looking at the outfit on the top primarily, but you can see over here on the jeans and next to the pocket, you can see that I did a good job of removing the wrinkles there too. So before, after. And for this final image here on the screen, I do want to go over two features that are going to be found in the background adjustment section, which again, the shortcut is B. And over here on the top, you can see it says background adjustments, and underneath that, it has clean solid backdrop. And just like that name implies, it's going to clean up a solid color backdrop, which in this case is a little bit, there's a little bit of color variation there, but it's for the most part a solid background. And I'm going to enable that feature now. And it did target a couple different things, but what I found with this feature is that it works best with two other additional features. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what I mean. There's a color banding removal toggle. I'm going to enable that. And now with that enabled, as well as the background enhancement all the way up to 100%, those different things combined really cleaned up the backdrop. So I'll show you guys the before and after with those changes. So here is the before, and then here is the after. If you pay attention to these two wrinkles that were showing up right here, and then there's one big wrinkle right there, you can see before and then after how it really cleaned up that backdrop. And for the very second feature that I want to talk about for this image, it's going to be called Headshot Backdrop Changer. And this is going to be primarily for headshots, but this is one that I felt like it still applied to. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what it can do. You can actually change the background of your image to be completely transparent. You can have it white, gray, black, all these different options here. I actually found that Fabric 2 was a good one for this specific image. It looks pretty cool. And I feel like this is something that's still deliverable. Maybe I can just reduce the opacity right here where it says opacity. You can change it to be something like maybe 65%. I think that's going to be good. And I feel like this is a very deliverable image for my client. One of the last things that I want to show you guys before I go into the tethering feature is that you can actually sync your retouch of a photo and then apply it to different photos in your photo shoot. And that's going to help you save time because it'll do all the stray hair removal. It'll do all the color adjustments, do all the different things that you apply to your photo and your retouch, and it'll apply it to the other photos as well. So what I'm going to do with this very first photo, I'm going to do like a minute or two retouch to this photo and then apply it to the other ones and show you exactly how it can apply that retouch to the other photos as well. Now that I've done the little bit of retouching that I wanted to do to this photo, I can show you guys exactly how I can apply this retouch to the other photos right next to it that are completely unretouched. This is zoomed in. I'll show you guys the before and the after. And now I'm gonna click on fit so you can see the entire image. I'm gonna hit Control C, and then that's gonna copy all the different adjustments that I made. And then now when I hold down Shift and click on this fourth image here, I can hit Control Shift V, and then that is gonna then apply all the different retouching that I did on this photo to the other photos. And after a little bit of processing, you can see exactly how those images look. And again, all I did was retouch that first one and then apply the retouching to the rest of the images. So here is going to be the before and after of this second image. And then I'll go to the third image. Here's the third image. And then finally the fourth image over here. Keep in mind, if you are working with a relatively not new computer, there is going to be a little bit of wait time for the processing. And that's the case for my computer right here. I did have to wait a little bit for the photos to process the retouch. And then you can actually see the final result on the screen right now. Lastly, the before and the after. Okay, so for the very last feature I wanted to show you guys, and the reason why I have the camera right here in my hand, my Sony a7R III with my Sigma Art 35 f1.2, is because I want to show you guys the tethering feature in Evoto AI. The reason why this is exciting is because you can actually apply all the different retouching that you did to a single photo to the photos that you're going to be tethering. So right now I do have Ashley here off screen and she's going to take a picture of me. If I'm correct, it is going to apply all the different retouching from this photo that's on the screen right here and apply it to the photo that she's about to take of me. And you can actually see all the different settings that are on the camera right now. I'm at f1.2, ISO 800 at 1/250th of a second. And I could probably take a picture right now by clicking this button, but I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna have her grab the camera and take a picture of me. And right now, if I'm correct, it is gonna show a picture of me with all those different adjustments applied, and it looks horrible. So I do wanna make some adjustments in terms of the settings. So I will do that right now. You know, what's good about this feature is that if I felt like my skin could be a little bit smoother or I needed to reduce my double chin, I could apply those different features, those retouching features to this photo, and then it'll show up in the next ones. Okay, so what we were seeing a second ago was the preview, the unedited image. So this is the before, and then this is the after. Although it's not ideal, I actually do like it. Again, there is a double chin feature that I could have added to this photo. I actually will do that right now. I'll go and find that double chin feature. Okay, so I did find it under the first section where it says blemish removal. Over towards the bottom, it says double chin. I'm gonna bring that up to maybe like, you know what, let's just see how it looks like at 100%. And it did do a good job. I'll show you guys again the before and after. Here's the before and here's the after. And I believe there's also the neck wrinkle that I could reduce as well. So I'm gonna bring it to 100%. And even if it looks weird, I'm gonna just keep it there. Okay, it looks pretty realistic to me. You know, I didn't want those necklines to be there. And now if I take one more picture, it's gonna apply that double chin and the neck wrinkle removal feature to the next image, and you can see exactly how that's gonna look like right now when Ashley takes that picture. And here is that final image. Here is gonna be the before, and here is the after with that retouching that was applied to that first set of images, those four images on the bottom of the screen, but to this image now. And that pretty much wraps up all the main features that I wanted to talk about and highlight in today's video going over Evoto AI. But like I said before, I didn't cover everything. There's a lot of other features that I think are really great that I didn't cover in today's video. So in case you want to see those different features, I will consider making a full in-depth video going over Evoto AI. So if you want to see that, let me know in the comments below. The awesome thing about Evoto AI is that you don't even need a credit card tied to your account to start using it. You can download it right now, and with your free trial, it does include 5 free credits. Since Evoto AI is based off of a credit-based system, you can use all the different retouching and see exactly how the image is going to look like, and you only use a credit when you export a photo. Depending on which plan you decide to go with, it includes a certain amount of credits, and I believe the lowest plan that they offer is 1,200 credits for around $83.99, and it does seem a little pricey, but I think it's totally worth it considering that comes out to an average of about 7 cents per image retouched. Evoto AI has also stated that you'll never have to pay for any new upcoming features. If you download a certain amount of credits today, there's not going to be any sort of surprise bump in price for any sort of new features that might come out. In case you guys are interested in trying Evoto AI yourself, and I highly recommend that you do because it's such a time saver and the results are so good, then you can use the link that's going to be in the description area below for 30 additional free credits with your free trial. But that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the very next video.